Is it glitched?
All right, hello and welcome everyone to Indian Racing League. This is Division 1 and we are in what would have been round 14, but we didn't have the race in quota that might happen later. So this is round 13 of 16 of the championship and we are in Italy in the Imola circuit and the qualifying is just about underway. You can see a few cars trickling down the pit lane to set their first laps of the session. Joining me in the comms box tonight is someone who has mastered this track, I would say now, because he got a podium last night in the Alpha Tauri. Smith, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Don't mind me today because I'm
Yes,
still
for
having
people,
dinner. It's quite spicy,
yeah,
so yeah.
yeah, Smith is having a very spicy dinner. So typical Indian dinner, I assume, is what Smith is having. So he will be letting us know how that tastes
No,
while
well,
we
in
see some.
fact, it's Korean.
Oh,
I'm
it's
having
Korean. All right.
super spicy Korean noodles. Yeah, I mean, Asians, we do eat spicy food that way. And yeah, but here we are at Imola, which is, of course, not in Asia. And who do we have? I think Vyom would be the first person who would be starting this lap. But before that, it's coming to a wrap this season as well. Not many races left. And good to see that we have drivers like, Vivek, Caesar, even Ahif, who just, jumped from D2 to D1. Even he's doing quite good there. What is your prediction over here, Malav?
Absolutely. My prediction here would be a win from, I want to say, Caesar. It's been a while since he has won. Has been a little bit unlucky, but sometimes he has shot himself in the foot. As I'm spectating Vyom put his first lap of the session. But yes, coming towards the end of the season, 3 races to go after this one. And we could technically see a champion tonight, Smith. If everything goes VFX's way, if he manages to win the race, and if Caesar does not score any points, and if Hushraf finishes P5 or lower, then that would mean that VFX would win the championship here tonight. So we'll keep an eye out on that, but that would be something really dramatic because Caesar scoring no points is something which is very rare to see. Coming to this
I mean,
track,
this season he has kind of scored lower points, but he's also had, luck at his side where he did finish somewhere good in points. So he's had a mixed of a race. Sometimes you also felt like, for example, Singapore where he did win it. So
yep.
yeah, I think Vifix was someone who really kept it consistent throughout, which was I believe the thing which kept him in that contention. So yeah, but Jishnu, I'm sorry, Vyom with 16.2 already. So that's quite a lap, quite a lap. I mean, I can only think these guys how much would they improve, once the track gains rubber, gains that traction. So
Yeah, and look at that VFix on the mediums. This is because of the tire strategy, which is now available at tire allocation before the lobby actually starts. You get
yeah.
to see those tire allocations and you can make some changes. So if you choose balanced, you get an extra set of mediums in qualifying, which VFX is on right now. While we don't have the Q qualifying tire rule anymore, so this is not for strategy. So this is probably just getting one tire lesser to use in qualifying, and they can have a fresh softs during the race. Hoshram, meanwhile, has started his lap. He's in the first sector, and Jipsima in the comment section. Very unfortunate that he was not able to join. But Jipsima, if you're hearing this, please keep trying. Just try restarting and anything you can. Basically, more importantly, just keep praying that you're able to join this session. We would have to love you, Race Chipchima. Obviously, one of
Yeah, I
our
mean, if you're hearing me right now, do try to join just between quali and race. I mean, that's how Mala was able to join one of the race, so you keep trying that as well. You never
yeah,
might
you
get
are
lucky
right.
there.
Yeah, that was in Britain, the first race I had after I had my console back. So that was in Britain when I was able to join just before the formation lab started, and I was able to race. So that could be a good tip. And your Ethan goes P1 with a 16.1.
Yep.
Smith, you were on pole yesterday. Talk us through this track and also what do you think will be a good lap time to get onto those top spots tonight for
I
the Division 1 drivers?
definitely feel Division 1 guys are someone who would definitely improve by at least 3 tenths to what they have put right now. So I am definitely seeing something like a 15.6 or 7. The best could be even 15.5. You never know these guys how well they do about that. Let's see. Because Ethan on mediums, if he's doing 16.1, you can only imagine the kind of pace these guys are carrying over here.
Absolutely. I would not be surprised to see a mid or a low 15, to be honest, from these drivers. So let's see what happens. Hoshrov has not put in a great lap time. Maybe he made a mistake somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. VFX
Yep.
is quite a bit down, so he might be doing race runs. And Caesar, who's also a protagonist in the championship, is not been able to put a lap time. His first lap was invalidated. So let's see what happens. Or Hushtak completely obliterating that chicane in the third sector. So I think he's coming back in the pits. Let's try to
Yeah,
see
but Caesar
Kabudi.
is on Azun retires, which reminds me of Azun. I believe you had some bet with him, and
Oh yes, I did have
uh,
to say that, but let's do that when we can actually spectate him and not while he's in the garage and no one is able to see his car. The Mercedes sees a flying through there, but he had a couple of corrections through that
yep.
chicane. There's a car in
But it
front,
does
and I
show
hope,
purple sector too.
yeah, it did show purple sector 2, and there's a car in front which
Yeah,
I don't think will impede Caesar's lap time. So let's
yeah.
see if
The
this is
six.
going to be good
Ah, that
lap
was
time.
almost.
And he almost lost it between the two left-handers. And across the line goes Caesar and as AlphaTauri. Can he put it on pole for now? No, he does not. Quite some way off. 4 tenths
Yeah,
off to be precise in P4, just behind Kavudi, who's making a kind of a special appearance for us tonight as a reserve in that Aston Martin. Obviously, a very, very fast driver, Kavudi, but we don't see him racing enough. Let's hope that's about to change in the next few weeks.
yep. The next driver, URL Pradeep, he is up by half a second on his mediums. So pretty interesting. Let's see what he does. Um, Definitely, he is improving. So let's
Yeah, but
see if
he's
he
on
is
three
able
lap
to.
old mediums, so I'm not expecting this
Yeah.
time to be very competitive. And it goes 17.6. I'm sure they will all put on a new set of tires uh, pretty much anytime now. Maybe a soft tire run would help them to gain a few tens
But
here or
any
there
idea
in
why
this one.
these guys are really going on mediums?
I think they just want to, save a set of softs for the race because they'll do two soft runs now. That means they will have one absolutely new, fresh set of softs for the race in case there's an untimely safety car. And speaking of softs, Tanish Karan TVK is on those soft tires. And Smith, if you are able to take us through this lap, he's
Yeah,
approaching turn
why
one.
not? Here he breaks, downshifts to fourth gear and takes the curb really well and keeps it on track and moves to the second left right hander, which is almost a chicane, I would say. Could lose over there, but he did keep it on track and the uphill downshift to second gear. I mean, wasn't really required, but let's see what he really does. And as he approaches this left-hander, took quite a bit of curb, should have been invalidated, but I don't know about that. As he approaches Aquamandale, downshifts to fourth, now to third. As he now approaches the corner where Caesar kind of did lose it, but again, purple sector for him. He's taking the curves very aggressively. I believe he would have lost some time because of those few curves that he's taken, but he's at the penultimate corner and really, really riding those curves, I would say. I mean, and as he crosses the finish line and he goes the fastest at 16.04.
Yeah,
So I mean,
16.0.
quite a lap. Definitely, he has a lot of pace and a lot of places where he could improve. So let's keep an eye on him as well in his next run.
Yeah, Jishnu goes P6. Meanwhile, I think VFX is about to cross the line, and this could be a time which beats Tonnage. No, I think he's just starting a lap now. So we'll
VFX is
keep an
starting
eye
a
out
lap.
on that. Caesar, his teammate, has just exited the pits, and it might have just caught VFX a little bit off guard there because he was just before the braking zone, not an impeding the lap, but it was maybe a slightly awkward for VFX. He's well on his way now, and let's see what these fresh softs can do versus those mediums. Is up by just 20,000 of a second, so not a big improvement in the first sector, but there's plenty of more corners to go where he can gain those precious tenths. As far as qualifying is concerned, VFX is fighting for the championship, leading the championship by a comfortable margin of 60 points. So he does have that cushion, but he would want to get it signed, sealed, and delivered as soon as possible. As Ethan goes even faster with 16.0, so still no one in the 15s, and that is a bit surprising to me,
Yeah, I
Smith,
mean, Ethan
since
doing 16.1 on mediums and 16.0 on softs says that negligible difference between medium and softs. I really don't think so.
yeah, we see
But here we
sometimes,
are.
yeah, we do see that in real life sometimes. One of those rare. Oh, there you
Oh,
go,
look at
VFX.
VFX. There you go.
Yeah, restoring
15.7.
normalcy now. 15.7 for VFX, and still one more run left in his tank. Caesar
Yeah.
is also on a
And
lab and
behind
has just
him,
started one.
his AlphaTauri teammate. Even he has started the lap.
Yeah, so let's try to see if someone else is on a lap, and we'll try to
Yeah. I guess
spectate them.
Kabudi is he's invalidated.
Oh
Behind
yeah,
him, I
Kabaddi was
think one
three
of the
tenths up. So that could have
yeah.
been also a time which would have been well within the 15s. So Kabaddi, is he coming in? Oh, he almost lost it, Kabaddi, and now he's coming in. That would have been very, very scary. Caesar 1.5 tenths up through the second sector. And let's see how he takes Equaminerale here. Does he keep it in the fourth gear or does he just shift to third? No, he keeps it in the fourth and gets a reasonably good traction. That was in fact very well run through that corner.
Yep.
Again, purple through that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I
Up
need
by 3.5 tenths.
three and a
So
half times. And
that's
there's a car
quite a
in
lap.
front which I hope doesn't invalidate. It's not getting out of the way of that car. It's his teammate and it's VFX now going towards the grass. So that's well out of the way. Maybe even give him a distant tow. You never know. VFX through the section of the track and now Caesar across the line. This could be a very big improvement. Can he join his teammate? Yes,
Oh,
he
look at
can on the
that.
front row.
AlphaTauri
15.8.
boys. 1 and 2 right there.
Yeah, and talking about Pradeep, who is on a set of those soft tires, and look at that, look at the gain, 2 and a bit tenths, almost 3 tenths through the first sector alone. So that's the kind of gain you will have. So maybe I think Smith, URL Ethan's time on the softs, maybe he made a mistake somewhere because he didn't gain enough on the soft run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely keeping an eye on him, TBK, because first of all, Ethan putting that quick of a time on mediums was surprise, honestly. And then TBK took a lot of curbs, did a few mistakes. So let's see if he's able to beat that pole lap.
Yeah, said in the comments is saying he doesn't have enough entertainment. Well, still we'll have to wait until the start of the race for that to happen. Qualifying is supposed to be a little
I'm gonna
calm
send
and
him a
dull.
meme. Are you not entertained?
He's not entertained, yeah. But Chips, I don't know if you're still here, and Epic Brothers, I'm not sure if Pulkit is watching, but I really, really hope that you guys can join in the next 4 minutes or so. We can have 16 people racing with us tonight.
And Gosalia
And
retires. He
Gosalia
crashed.
retired.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I saw that in the Aston Martin, and that's at the part of the track where there is no other car. There are three cars. That's Vyom, Easy Level Bot, and Hushrav, who are very, very close to each other on their outlaps.
Yep.
And
I
I want to
really
see
don't
what.
know why.
Yeah, so is Ferrari is gonna tow each other. I'm not entirely sure. Vyom is still keeping up with his teammates, so I'll stay on board with Vyom to see what happens. But I think that's the plan right now. Oh, Vyom is very close. What is going on here? He's too close, Vyom.
I have absolutely no clue what's happening. Is he
This
giving
is
him a toe and gonna let him pass here? I guess, yep, that was the plan.
that was the plan, but why would Hushraf not want to qualify ahead? You know what I think?
I mean, there is still time for him to do a run.
He's on 4 lap old
So, yeah.
softs. You know what I think? What
Oh,
happened? I think Hushraf forgot to switch towards fresh soft tires in the pits, which is why once he realized that there was no point in doing quali, so he thought might as well give my teammate a tow and then help him gain some position or two if that helps. I mean that's my theory. I could be wrong. We'll have a chat with him
hmm.
after the race, but that's my theory. I don't usually see Hushraf not doing quali, so I think that's what really happened. Either way, Vyom is on his way. It's up by 3 and a bit tenths, and now just one more braking, or two rather, braking decisions to make. This will put him in the 15, so he will be the third person into the 15s. If he can keep this advantage into the final two left-handers, he's done well so far. There's yellow flags, but we'll keep our eyes on Vyom's car, and he, as he cross the line, he goes. Can he go P3? He goes P2, even better. And that's the time. VFX is not out yet. VFX is probably going to stay. Oh, now he comes out. Yeah, there you go. VFX is now finally on
Very
an out
late.
lap.
I don't
And
think so he would be able to
this was
cross
a
the start
similar
finish
time
line.
I had, Smith, yesterday.
Yep,
And I was just about able to make it. So I think he still has about 13, 14 seconds in his pocket. And that
okay.
I think is enough time for him to do an outlap comfortably. Caesar is on his way, so Caesar will be one of the first people in the top five to start his final run. Behind him is Ethan, whereas TBK is well behind him. So let's go with Caesar first and see the gain in the first sector. On the last run, oh, he rides a lot of curve there, Caesar. I'm not sure if that would
Yeah,
have
I don't know if
helped
this
his turn
car is
time.
lagging a bit for me or
Yeah, yeah, it
did
is.
he
It is.
take the curbs?
I mean, it is lacking for sure. And through the first sector, he's down on his time, not helping. Let's see what Ethan can do. Ethan through the first sector in just a corner or two. And can he make inroads into the top three? No, he cannot. People are not improving on their final runs. So,
Yeah.
meanwhile, where is VFX? Easy Lalbot has retired from the session. 27 seconds to go. And Kavodi goes P1. The 15.5, that's a marker.
15.5. Wow. I mean, wow. That was definitely an amazing lap. Is it Caesar who was. Oh, come on. I did catch that.
Oh, Caesar is out. I didn't catch that
Yep.
either. I was busy watching VFX, or rather hoping that VFX makes it to the line in time, and he has. Vyom has
He
finished his
has.
lap. It's a 15.8, so he's not gonna go any further. Ethan is up on his
Yep.
time, and let's see if Ethan can now gain a position on Caesar. The Red Bull across the line, and it's P2 front row for Ethan. Very good qualifying performance from him. 15.6. Let's see what TBK can do. Oh, he's down on his time, so that's not gonna improve. Jishnu is up, so
Oh,
Jishnu.
TBK. I think his quali is done as well because he. Yep, his quali is done. He has taken not just curves but grass as well. So, yeah, that is purple sector 2 barely up by 3,000, 4,000 of seconds.
Yeah, and
Let's
Jishnu
see
across the
what exactly he
line.
does.
Jishnu P7, and VFX 2 corners to go for him. I think he had a bit of his traffic on his outlap, on his hot lap. People like,
Ah,
oh, VFX
that's, I think, quali done for everybody.
pushed a bit too hard there, and this gives
Yep.
me major Max Verstappen vibes from Saudi Arabia. But there you go, Sid Venkatesh. Is that not enough entertainment for you? Both VFX and Caesar crashing out. Not crashing out, VFX didn't really DNF, but failing to do their final runs. And Hushraf down in P12 because that's my theory. He didn't change his tires. So that's Collie. Kavudi and Ethan on pole. I'm not sure, but this could be this could be his first pole in IRL.
Wait, when did Basil go P3? I never catch that.
Whoa, I didn't catch that either. That doesn't make P6 P5. No, he's P4. What?
We fixed P4, yeah. Basil went P3. I never caught that, but
Okay,
here we are.
something just, I don't know, it didn't feel right. Did we miss something? Either ways, so Kavudi and Ethan on the front row with Basil and VFX in the on the second row, and the very good friends Vyom and Caesar on the third row. After that, that's Jishnu, TBK, Easy Level Bot, and Pradeep in the top 10. Yash Gosalia, Hushrav, Azun, and Ahif are going to start from further behind, but considering it's Imola, considering those tricky chicanes, anything can happen on the first laps.
Yep. It does look very cloudy. Do you think it's gonna rain?
I hope it does.
I mean, you were crying, literally crying about it yesterday.
Yeah,
Right?
well, I was what 30 seconds behind the next car, so I was hoping something would happen, and yeah, just like Sid, I wanted some entertainment, which never really happened for me at least. I was hoping someone would crash and we'll
I
get safety
hope,
car.
yeah, I hope people get damaged when they crash out or something today.
Yeah,
So
that was
yeah.
weird last night when people were not getting damage. And PSL legends, good morning to you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Let's see what kind of tire strategies people go for. I've seen people starting on softs as well, and do a softs to hards. I'm not sure if softs to mediums is a viable strategy, and mediums can last that long, considering a pit stop on the softs cannot. I don't think the softs will last more than 9-10 laps at the max. But either ways, we should be seeing those tire choices pretty soon on the formation lap. And for people who are watching, let us know in the comment section what predictions do you have for this race, and who do you think is going to take up those podium spots? And do you think there is rain? Because that would really spice things up, as the restaurant did
But looking
to
at their
Smith's
quali
Noodles.
times, I really doubt. I mean, they're quite good. Looking at the quali time, I don't think it's really gonna rain. So
Yeah, so considering the setup they might have had on. Either ways, moment of truth, Ethan on the hards and everyone else on the top 5 on the mediums. And then you can see Caesar on hards and Jishnu and TBK, easy level bot, and Yashosala, the only two people on those soft tires. And then you have Hoshrav and Azun on the mediums. Ahif bringing up the rear of the field on the hards. Pradeep in P10 on hards as well. So it's an even mix between medium and hards, I believe, across the field. And the only outliers are Easy Level Bot and Yash Gosalia on the soft tires.
you can
So
easily do soft to hards. I myself tried soft to mediums, which was definitely doable, though it was a bit of a stretch, but it's doable. Imola is definitely doable, soft to mediums, yeah.
right. So we'll see soon enough, and there is a bit of a gap behind Basil. So now VFix has caught up, and I think what happened? Where is Vyom? Is Vyom at the back of the field? Yes, he is. He's not in order as far as this formation lap is concerned. Maybe he had a spin somewhere. I'm not sure,
Yep. Or
but
maybe he did a spin just to
or
go
maybe
on
he
the
did
track.
a spin. Yeah, absolutely. That
Yeah.
could be something which we've seen quite often from these drivers trying to spin, or not trying to, but definitely spinning on purpose, so
I
that they
myself do it
can
on, yeah.
to get some tire temperatures on that formation lap, which obviously helps us a long, long run down into the first braking zone, which is technically turn 2, I have been told. But yeah, that's a long run down. So if you get a good start, that definitely helps. And let's see how these drivers navigate the first few corners of this race.
Do you think the guys at the back would be able to make those positions, considering it's Imola?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's a narrow track. It's difficult to overtake around here. I think one of the best opportunities will be for the likes of Easy Level Bot and Yash Kosalia on those softs, because if they can get a good launch compared to others, they have those opportunities to make up positions on the first lap. But again, it's not a very heavy braking zone, so I've always found it tricky to brake into turn one, especially on the first lap. 5 lights on the grid, and lights are out, and we are underway. No, we are not. That's very weird.
No, we're
We're
not.
still
And now
ahead,
we
and
are.
now we are underway, and away we go for
Oh,
the
look
race.
at the
And
start.
what a launch
Cody with
Ethan
not a
had!
good start because Basil is about to overtake him as well. Vivek's already on P1, and that was a
Oh,
big dive.
Caesar! And there's more contact there.
Oh,
What happened
it's
to
a
VFX and
chaos.
Caesar?
I
Both of
can't even.
That's some drama. Ethan is in P1. Vyom has made up a few positions in P2. Basil has lost one. Easy level bot, and yes, Kusara, look at that. The two soft runners, well, it was more down to the incidents ahead of them rather than them getting good launches, but both of them in P4 and P5. And Azun has he made up a position? Not yet. He's battling with Jishnu, and Jishnu just about keeps this one for now. So Azun has made up positions as well, and then brings Caesar, Pradeep. VFX has lost positions. Kavudi from pole. Oh, that is really heartbreaking to see for Kavudi.
Yep.
From pole, he's down into P13, and there's Ahif going off the track, so he will lose more positions there. And let's see if Pradeep is about to lose one more to Kavudi. Yeah, I think he lets Kavudi go. I think Pradeep has damage, otherwise he wouldn't have done that. Either way, very eventful first lap, and Hushrav has climbed up to P6 from P12, so 6 positions gained by Hushrav on the first lap, and he's on the back of Yash Kosalia already, Smith.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of gainers over here because of that. Whatever happened on turn 1 or turn 2 or whatever it is, and there is another
Oh,
spin, and that's Wifix. Wifix
that's
really not
VFX.
having a good race, along with Kavudi. So they are the ones who has lost the most. Kavudi from P1 to P14, which is the last at this moment. Wifix dropping down 9 positions. That is again very horrible for him. I'm sure he would be raging right now, but it's a long way to go. He really needs to keep his calm and, yeah, I mean, strategize how he would take it from now.
Yeah, up ahead, Ethan is leading, but Vyom is hot on his heels. 7 tenths is the gap between the leaders, and Vyom on the theoretically faster drivers can probably give Ethan a bit of a headache. But as a commentator, I've waited all season for this, the Alpha Tauris to collide, and this is the race when they finally
Yeah,
decide to
Sid,
do
are
it.
you not entertained?
I said, I am not entertained. Ethan is under pressure, but yes, that was, I think, 3 wide. It was, I believe, Caesar, VFX, and I want to say it was Kavuri. I think it was an Aston Martin who was involved in an incident, and then VFX was came out worse through that. But Azun on the back of Jishnu, and is Azun going to make that move stick? No, he's not. He's a bit far back, and further behind, TBK pulls off an overtake on Pradeep Kavudi in the pit, so he has damage,
Yep.
and that
Speaking
is
about
rather
damage, I
unfortunate.
hope Vifix doesn't have any underbody damage or something.
Well, I don't think. I think it was just his car, which was a bit perpendicular to the track, but I think he should be fine. Vyom is on the back of Ethan, and he was very close. The gap was almost less than a tenth at one point in time. And Vyom, if he's just a little bit patient, he will get DRS on the main straight now, so he doesn't need to do anything rash. And that's what exactly he does. He just sticks behind the Red Bull and probably recharging his battery and conserving his tires before he finally goes on the attack on the next lap on the main straight.
If you were Vifix, would you do an undercut or an overcut right now?
I think he's on the medium, so I think I would do an undercut because, well, here we go. I'll finish that thought later as Vyom goes on an
Yeah,
overtake
Vyom. Easy
on
overtake on Ethan.
Ethan. Does Ethan try to fight back? No, he doesn't. He knows better of it, and that is Vyom up into P1. But yes, those hard tires do go a long distance, so VFX can kind of afford to go for an undercut as he has made a move on TBK, which is further testament to the fact that I don't think he has damaged Azun on the back of Jishnu once again. Now he has been here for quite some while. Azun trying to go round the outside of Jishnu on those fresh soft tires versus Jishnu's hearts, and what a brilliant overtake that might be if Azun can pull this off. Jishnu is braking and he has broken time, and Azun up into P7, and that's the time for me to say this, Smith. He might
Yep.
just be the best driver I've seen in Indian Racing League. This guy starts from the last all races, and look at the amount of positions he makes up, but that was a
Very
brilliant
consistent.
overtake. Yeah, very
Yep.
very consistent. Also, I think he's a two-time constructor champion, or maybe one time. I'm not entirely sure. I'm very bad with facts, but that's Azun up into P7, and I'm so glad we got that overtake caught on camera round the outside on a part of the track where it's not that conventional to make an overtake. But here goes Ethan on view. He almost got that done, but we might
Mushra,
have
by
stayed
the way, made a
behind
move stick on easy level.
on easy level bot. Yes, I saw that.
Yep.
And here we
And
go.
Jishnu on Azun. Azun knew he couldn't. There was no point fighting it out because they are in DRS zone. They really need to catch up with the guys ahead who are like 6 seconds ahead. So at this point, keep exchanging DRS, keep going. I would say.
Yeah, and further behind, look who it is. It's Caesar and VFX. The AlphaTauri boys are back at it again, and while they both had incidents, they haven't lost that much time to the rest of the pack, so they are still very much in this. And Azun and Jishnu still trying to battle it out. Azun is not going to go for a move there, but let's see what kind of traction they get through this uphill right-hander, which is so similar to the corner in Portimao. Azun is not going to go for a move. Is Vifix going to go for a move behind? No, he does not. It is Caesar who is under pressure, and they are on different tire strategies. So it is.
Is Kavudi not present? His car is ghosted for me. I'm gonna try inviting him real quick.
And Husrev makes, by the way, makes a move on Basil. So his Ferrari is up into P3. It's a 1-3 for Ferrari. And can Azun make a move on Jishnu? I think he does. And Mercedes and Williams battling through the main straight on Imola is never a good sight. But this time they've made it through in one piece. VFX still behind Caesar. And I think this is the time where he would have hoped there were team orders at AlphaTauri Smith.
I mean, definitely, he would be thinking that if he can overtake. But as you see, there are other 3 cars that he still needs to overtake. So, might as well stay how it is at this point and see how it unravels. Because Caesar is also getting a bit feisty.
Caesar!
Oh no!
And I think that's damage for Caesar. That might have been damage for VFX as well. We might see
That
a
is a
double
damage for
stack.
VFX as well.
Yeah, we might see a double stack
No,
for
no.
AlphaTauri. Oh, this is going from bad to worse for the champion elect
I see a
VFX.
lot of tapping happening over there. I mean, oh god, what's really happening?
And TBK on the back. TBK, don't go for a move there. Please don't go for a move there. TBK, please don't go for a move there. I'm pleading TBK. Ethan, by the way, has overtaken once again, and VFix is going to stay out because Caesar is in. He doesn't want to double stack under green flag conditions. Here goes TBK on the back of Ahif. Can he go for a move? I think he's a bit far behind unless he decides to completely send it, and send it he does. TBK up into P9. Can VFix try to go for a move here on Ahif? I think he's a bit too far behind, not on this lap at least. There's a yellow flag, and I think that is Yash Gosalia who has lost out. Is it? No, it's Kavudi in fact.
No, that's Kavudi.
It's Kavudi
Yep.
who's not having the best of the races from pole, and Caesar is out on a set of mediums. He's definitely doing a two-stop here, Caesar.
Wait, why is it showing that Caesar is still P13, whereas
Well, he is
Kavudi
P13. Yeah,
No.
that's where they are.
I don't know. For me, it's showing Kavudi and Kavudi.
Yeah, on the track. Yeah, on the track, you're right. Oh, Kavudi spun
Yep.
again. Is Kavudi a lap down? Yeah, he's a lap down.
I hope that doesn't give him a rear wing damage, but
Yeah.
yeah. And there we
Yep.
go.
So Kavadi is a lap down. Vyom is 6 tenths behind Ethan, and Kavadi gets a 3-second time penalty. And Kavadi spins again. I'm not sure if that many spins are possible in one race. And believe
But
me,
look at
I
top
have
four.
had, yeah, top four in one. What? It's 1.5 seconds of each other. It's two Ferraris and two Red Bulls are fighting it out, almost like the real
Yeah,
life
almost like real
season.
life.
But yeah, this should be fun between these drivers. And while the none of them except for Hushrav is in a championship fight, they still want to win races and get podiums and score as many points as possible. So this should be quite competitive between these drivers. Basil is trying to hang on as well, and Vyom, while I don't think the hards are the better tire just yet, but I could see that a couple of times that Vyom was not getting enough purchase out of the corners. Well, this time he has closed the gap and he is within 5 tenths of Ethan.
I
So
think
on the
he
main
is
straight,
just gonna retire now, is what I personally feel.
Kabaddi, and that's
Yep, yeah, he
exactly what
has.
he does. Kabaddi has retired from the session. He's done it in the pits, so that should not hamper anyone. And here goes Vyom on Ethan. He is gaining. He doesn't have a lot of battery to play with. Ethan probably does because his red light is not blinking. And oh, Vyom! Oh, that was very late as far as an overtake is concerned. Easy level bought in the pits, by the way, and Vyom has taken the lead of the race, and now Hushdov is the next Ferrari behind Ethan.
Wait,
And let's,
Vifix did not pit. Is he waiting for a safety car or something?
yeah, maybe. I mean, does he have damage? Can you just confirm that for us if VFix
He
has
does.
that?
His left end plate is missing. So,
Okay, so end plate is missing for VFX, but I think he doesn't want to pit under green flag conditions, and pitting right now would mean doing an extra stop. So maybe he'll go until a couple of laps more. After that, he can easily make it to the end. So I'm
yep.
assuming that's his plan, and probably also waiting for a safety car. And let's see what happens there as Hoshraf riding those curbs once again and getting a better traction than Ethan once again. Is he going to go for a move at this part of the track?
I
That would
think.
be something. And he has to stay
Uh,
behind this time. Vyom has
yep.
sped away, which means Ethan might not have DRS on the main straight. Oh, he does.
Oh, he
But
does.
here goes
But this could be
Hushraf.
easy for Hushraf because crazy slipstream. They are side by side, and Hushraf, yep, he makes it stick. Ethan gives in, and Ferrari boys P1, P2,
Yeah, P1 and P2
while the
for
Red Bull boys
Ferrari
P3 and P4.
and Red Bull P3. I wish this was what real life
Wow, look at
would have
Azun. He's
been.
P5 and already gained 2.8. He's gaining and gaining on Vishnu. So, sometime back they were fighting, but right now he's just clearly gaining on Vishnu there.
Yes, he does. And oh, there's a yellow flag somewhere.
I think that was Gosalia
Yeah, that's
and
Kosala
easy
probably
level
just
bot, yeah.
exiting the pits as TBK and Ahif were fighting. And TBK is in P7 now. Ahif behind in P8. VFX, I'm not sure. So we'll keep an eye out on this gap between VFX and Ahif, and if VFX is really gaining on them, but it seems like he's not because you look at URL Pradeep, who
Yep.
is in within DRS of VFX, so that is a rare sight. And now it is time for the Red Bull boys to fight within themselves because Ethan is on the back of Basil, and let's see if Basil puts up a fight of any kind because Basil is 2 seconds adrift of Hushraf. He'll not
Yeah,
get within
this is
DRS.
another moment where he should, yeah, which he does. I mean, they don't really need to fight here. They have to catch with these Ferrari boys. Hushrav and Vyomi both know, I mean, everybody knows they are quick, no matter what. So, I mean, at this point, they should definitely be catching up with them and not fighting each other.
Yeah, and all that the Ferraris have swapped, so it's Hushraf ahead of Vyom, and well, let's see what kind of gap Husrav can pull on the rest of the field while he is in the lead. Pradeep, by
Yeah.
the way, is no longer in DRS of VFX, and so that gap seems to be stabilizing a little, but VFX is no longer those 3.2, 3.3 seconds behind HF and TBK. So he has lost that time, and that wing damage is hurting him. but then he has to be away. TBK has retired from
Oh,
the
that is
session, and
TBK.
that could well be a safety car. It is, and that's a
That
perfect
is a
time
safety car.
for the
Yep.
medium runners to pit for a set of hards, and that's why VFX was waiting. Exactly why he was waiting. That he did not want to make an extra pit stop, and now he can just pit for a fresh set of tires, go until the end of the race. But at the same time, he would also have his front wing changed as Ethan goes on because he's on the hards, and Azun is going to come in the pits, is he? Yes, he is. And Jishnu should be staying out, I guess. No, he's coming in. If stays out, VFX most definitely should be coming in. Double stack for Ferrari, which means Vio might lose a position here. No, he has not, in fact. Great work from Ferrari. We're not losing any positions. VFX is coming in. That's the front wing change for the car number 71. Hard tires to go on, and he will still come out ahead of Caesar. Will he? No, he'll be behind Caesar. So Caesar will gain a
No.
few positions in the pit stop, but he's on the mediums, which means he will have to make a pit stop. I don't think those mediums can go 25 laps on this circuit.
Yeah. Honestly, if I were him, I would have pit as well on hards because
Yeah, but
even
he
in the next
started on
safety
the
car, you
hards.
really want to. Ah, okay.
Yep,
This
he
was
start.
something which I wasn't aware of. So yeah.
Yeah, he started on the hard, so he was kind of forced to stay out because those will be worn hards, and it would have been difficult to take them until the end of the race. But what this does, Smith, is it kind of neutralizes the race and brings everyone back together. So more entertainment for Sid Venkatesh, who
Yup,
apparently
Sid.
is in need of some entertainment this Saturday night. And let's hope these Division One drivers help him to do that. As far as pit stops are concerned, everyone has made a pit stop except the top two, which is Ethan and Ahif. So that should be fun. So when they pit and they decide to, I mean, would you go for a softs now because there's already safety car, so there are laps under the safety car. I think those hard to a soft strategy would be easily doable now.
While it is easy, it's got to be difficult for another safety car to be out because there are only 12 people on track.
Yeah, so that's the
So the
thing. They will have to pit
probability,
again,
yeah,
and it's a long pit lane here. So they would lose out on track position and that free pit stop which the people who started on the mediums got. So that might not really help them. But either ways, our championship leader is down in P12, and as things stands, he will gain just 1 point in this championship. But plenty of racing yet to come. We have just about one third, just over one third in this race so far. So plenty of action to come, and hopefully a lot of overtakes for us to see in the next few laps. I think the field has bunched up now, so let's see if the safety car decides to come in at the end of this lap and we get racing again, because every lap under the safety car period, those hard runners are losing temperature in their tires. And since the top five are on hards, it is kind of protection for the likes of Ethan and maybe even Ahif, but I'm very sure Hushrav and Vyom on those fresh hards will probably be challenging them right from the word go.
Madhav, sorry to cut you off, but I'll be back in two.
Yep, absolutely fine. As we will be seeing our cars racing go once again, as Ethan has let the safety car do its thing, come back in the pits, and we'll stay on board with Hushrav to see when does Ethan finally decide to go. You see how vigorously these drivers are weaving, and that is because they're on the hard tires. It's difficult to get temperatures on these white wall tires, and I think Ethan has decided to go. Let's keep an eye out on what happens behind as well. But I think that's a very good restart from Ethan. Has kind of caught Ahif napping, and Yash Kosalia in easy level bot already. Something has happened to easy level bot. I'm not entirely sure what. And now Hushrav on the back of Ahif. Does he go for a move here? Is he going to send it? No, he does not. Stays behind. And yes, Kosala gets a 5-second penalty. Azun gets a 5-second penalty as well because yellow flag was apparently still out. And Azun, oh, Jishnu made a mistake somewhere, or was it a collision with anyone? Not sure. He still has his front wing intact, but that's Jishnu down into P12. VFix moves up a position, and let's go back to this battle for P2 between Hushrav and Ahif. The more they battle, the more Ethan has time to pull away on those old hearts. As they go through Aqua Minerale and Hushrav getting good purchase naturally through that corner, but he'll have to wait until they're on the main straight once again before he can make a move on Ahif. So he'll have to be careful here. Ahif no slouch of a driver either. And then let's go with Hushrav to see if he mounts a challenge on the McLaren in that new livery which they ran in Singapore. Here goes Hushrav down on the main straight using his battery and is on the back of Ahif, and this seems to be an easy overtake. Look at the speed of Hushrav in the straight line and in DRS, and Hushrav comfortably making that move stick up into P2 and then will set his sights on the Red Bull of Ural Ethan once again, who he did overtake earlier in the race, but because Ethan didn't stop, that's how he has ended up in the lead once again. Further behind, Easy Level Bot seems to be struggling a little bit, and the safety car restart has lost multiple positions, but now would be hoping to get a few of those back. He's on fresh or semi-fresh medium tires, elected not to pit under the safety car, so he will have to go for another round of pit stops, as will Caesar, but ahead of them, except for Yash Kosalia, drivers might be staying out, except obviously the two hard runners who did not pit during the safety car period. Right, it's Vyom's turn now to trouble Ahif, but Vyom will not have DRS at least at the end of during this lap, so it will be the next lap when Vyom will have DRS, and by that time he would be hoping that his teammate in Hushrav might have already sped away, but Vyom is not waiting around. He's using his battery but has stopped using now because he must have realized that he's not close enough to make a move stick and has to stay behind in P4 for one more lap, as VFX is still trying to fight his way back into this race and is still languishing in P11. There's Pradeep in front of him and then Easy Bot, but because of the nature of the track, not a lot of overtaking opportunities, which is why he might have to wait until DRS or maybe the exit of the chicane in sector 3 before he can hope to make a few positions. Vyom almost on the gearbox of the McLaren of IHF now, and this might be a little bit tricky for him because there is no DRS just yet, but at the same time IHF is sticking with Hushrav, so on the main straight IHF will have the benefit of the rear wing being open if he can keep this gap to the Ferrari in front. As we go through the final couple of corners, the two left-handers IHF will have DRS on Hushrav. It is still overcast but no signs of rain, and let's see what Vyom does here. Vyom does not use any batteries, trying to conserve as he should be.
It is sunny now,
and
honestly.
oh, it's sunny. It felt like it was getting a bit overcast, but yes, it is sunny as well, so I don't think we are going to be blessed with any rain tonight. It's going to be a completely dry race. VFX staying behind Pradeep for one more lap, and this might be really frustrating for him, but he has won from positions like this in the past, VFX, so let's not count him out just yet. Almost half of the race yet to go.
I mean, there are 3 DRS trains at this moment. It could be 1 or even 2 because of the gap there is. I don't know how is Ethan keeping up that gap from Hushrav with those old hearts. But
here goes VFX. Here goes VFX on the back of Ural Pradeep. Can he make that move stick? Yes, he can. Breaks late into the chicane and through Aqua Minerale. Oh, that was that an? Yeah, that was Ahif who completely lost it. maybe at the exit of the chicane, and wow, that's his race in the mud. And that's Vyom back up into P3. It's a double podium for Ferrari as we speak.
Ferrari boys back at it again, and Basil now keeping real close to Vyom. Let's see if he is able to get him in the DRS zone of this lap. But
Yeah, and Hushnam overtook Ahif a couple of laps back, but he's not been able to make the kind of inroads you would expect him to make on Ethan. But just as I say that, he has taken out 3 tenths from Ethan's gap. So I think those hard tires are really struggling right now for Ethan. And the safety car has kind of messed with his strategy. Ethan will have to pit sooner or later. He's hoping maybe he can hold out for a few more laps until there's another safety car, or if maybe he can go for a softs and then go for those fastest laps and a few overtake attempts. But at this point, if he pits, he will be last by the time he comes out. So that would not help his case at all. Hustov might just get DRS on this lap. We'll have a look at his rear wing when he crosses the line, and he has got benefit of DRS, and he gets the fastest lap in the attempt. So now Hustov can make real inroads on the race leader, and at the same time, Basil on Vyom, and Basil has to stay behind. Caesar overtakes a zone.
oh, Basil spun, and almost DNF. I believe he could have some rear wing damage the way his car collided with the wall. And Ahif all the way around the outside. My god, that was some overtake, and Basil spins again. I guess.
This hot tires for him, so he'll have to be a little bit patient with his throttle. Otherwise, he will stand to lose more time than he can gain. There's another yellow flag, and I think it's been removed now. But VFix has finally made the move stick on Pradeep, so he's up into P8, and behind him, or rather ahead of him, that's Easy Level Bot, who is now going to be under attack. And Caesar has caught up to Yash Khosale as well. So let's see if Caesar can make any kind of inroads on the not Alpha Tauri, it's Aston Martin driver. Caesar is Alpha Tauri himself. But let's go on board with Azun and see what
But
Caesar can do.
when did Caesar overtake Azun? Never really caught that because Azun was behind Gusalia.
It was on the main straight where on the last lap when Caesar overtook Azun. VFix has got him past Easy Level Bot, so that VFix up into P7. There's a yellow flag, and I'm not sure. I think that's Basil once again. And Hushrav and Ethan are fighting. And Hushrav going to go for a dive bomb? No, he does not. Stays behind. Basil has retired from the session. That's in the pits, so that should be fine. And then let's go with this battle once again between Caesar, Azun, and Yash Khosale. And now VFX and Easy Level Bot have joined the fight as well. So you're right, Smith. It is a huge DRS trend, and that's been the case for almost all parts of the race. Somewhere or the other, we have witnessed that so far. So that's good that we have seen cars in close vicinity of each other to provide some much needed entertainment.
Yep, something that you needed yesterday. Something
Yes.
that Sid wants today. So
Yeah, absolutely. And now Hustav has a very clear-cut chance to overtake Ethan on the main straight. Ethan still continuing on those old hard as he completes 20 laps on the same set of tires. Hustav is going to pull out from his slipstream anytime now, and there he goes, the Ferrari, and comfortably up into P1. Ethan would be wise not to fight him, and that's exactly what he does. But Azun, can he make an overtake on Caesar? Yes, he does. These two are switching positions, and Azun has made the move trick on Caesar, and behind him, VFX has caught up as well. VFX is going to the end of the race, Azun is going to the end of the race, and Caesar lets VFX go. So that is VFX up into P6. Clearly no point in fighting since you are on completely different strategies, and for once, the AlphaTauri boys keep their heads, and that's them in P6 and P7, still on course to win the Constructors' Championship, by the way. I'm not sure if it's going to be this race or not. That's something for which we need some mathematics to be done, and I'm really not in the mood to do that tonight, at least for the constructors. But here goes Jishnu now is on the back of easy level bot, and is it? Oh, what a dive bomb from Jishnu! Oh my god!
No,
I'm not sure if you
no,
saw
no,
that,
no.
but that's not how you take the chicane, Jishnu. He's up into P8 and he got away with that because he didn't even get a warning for that. Or maybe he got a warning, but definitely that wasn't his first or rather the third warning because no time penalty for that.
Yeah, I mean, that should have been a straightaway time penalty. That's how the game really works.
Yeah,
But
the game
again,
should have given him an illegal overtake. You can't go off track like that and make an overtake stick. But apparently that's fine, and that's Codemasters for you.
yep.
So, yeah. When do you think Ethan is going to pit, Smith? I think that's the only question I have right now. Ahif has stayed out as well, by the way. Same set
Ethan
of
can
tires.
easily stay out for another 2 or 3 laps because of the safety car,
Does he
right?
need to, though? I
And
mean, does he need to? Can the
I
soft tires
mean,
not make it to the
they,
end from here?
they can, but the thing is, what if there is another safety car? So might as well stretch them until like until wherever they go. So yeah,
Yeah, by the way,
let's say
Jishnu
if it's at
has. Yeah, sorry, go on.
no, I was saying let's say they are at 60% right now. Why not stretch them until 70, 75? So yeah,
Yeah, and by the way, Jishnu has given the place back to Israel Bot, or maybe Israel Bot actually overtook him on merit on the track, but he is behind the McLaren once again. And speaking of battles, Azun is on the back of Yasosalia, but Azun is pitting, rather, Yasosalia is pitting, but here goes VFX on Azun, and well, that's an easy
looked quite
overtake
easy.
for
Yep.
VFX. Is going to fight back? No, he does
Nope, not
not.
at all.
And that's VFX up into P4. Azun a bit of a Alpha Tauri sandwich, although Caesar does not look to be very competitive with this kind of tire life on his mediums. And Easy Level Bot and Yeshko Salia both out on the mediums. Apparently, maybe they don't have a set of soft tires. And I must say, what a brilliant drive from Yoral Ethan. 22 lap old hards, and he's keeping up with Hushraf.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also interested now in what Vifix does. He has a gap of 3.5 to 3.6 seconds on Vyom. And Vyom is struggling a bit with those hards, is what I would say. He wasn't really keeping up that much with Ethan and Hushrav at one point in time when they were fighting 3-4 laps ago. So let's see what happens. And speaking about another yellow flag, could have been a safety car, but again, I guess we don't have
Easy
one,
Level
else that would have kind of
Bot,
helped.
Easy Level Bot got a 5 second for a collision with Yash Kosalia. That is very rare. The game giving out 5 second penalties for collisions. But here goes Ethan. Is he going to go for a move on Hushrav? No, he is not. I hope Ethan remembers to pit because this battle is so engaging for us. Imagine how it must be for the drivers who are battling it right now on the track. And I really
Yep.
hope he remembers to pit. His tires are holding out just fine, so I don't want to jinx them like I usually do. And that side pod of Red Bull looks rather dirty and muddy. But yeah, Ethan now might be a good time to come in. 8 laps to go. I'm sure the softs can easily make it to the end, and he's gonna come out in P9 anyway. Make that P8 as Ahif pits as well.
Yeah, I guess this is now the right time to pick the softs. Softs can easily go for 8 laps.
Let's see what he does. As Vyom is also making inroads on him, and Ethan's red light is flashing, so he doesn't have a lot of battery to defend with. But maybe he should stop defending now and just finally bite the bullet and come in for a set of soft tires that would put him in P9, but also
P8,
give
I believe,
him
or P9, yeah.
P9. Oh,
Correct.
there's someone who is round. I think that was it Pradeep? Maybe it
It
was
was Pradeep.
Pradeep.
Yep.
Yeah, so it might give him P8. You never know.
But in all that, Vifix is back in podium place and he's 3.0, 3.1 now. So he did gain, I guess, half a second in that lap on
Yeah,
Vyom.
and Caesar pit as well. So Ethan might actually come out in P7. Pradeep will just overtake him, but Pradeep is on those old mediums which have seen the best of their days and Ethan is on fresh softs. I think
Softs.
Ethan will now be the fastest man on the track. I know Caesar and Ahef and Gosalia are also on those soft tires, but the kind of pace Ethan has shown tonight, I think he will be setting the
Absolutely.
track ablaze in the next few laps, and count on him to make a few overtakes. 5.1 is the gap. Let's keep an eye out on that towards the end of the lap and see what kind of gains he makes on Pradeep.
So Pradeep and Azun have penalties, 6 seconds and 5 seconds
So
respectively.
Azun has a 5 second
So
for yellow flag, so might be removed. I'm not entirely sure. That's up to him and the stewards to look at. But yeah, Pradeep 6 seconds. I'm assuming were
yeah,
for track limits. So
yeah.
those are unlikely to be removed, but we can never be too sure.
So that's P6 for Ethan easy, and he has already gained, I guess, 1 second, 1.2 second on
One and a
Pradeep
half
there.
seconds on Pradeep in one sector, Smith. And when
Yep.
he's towards the end of
On
sector
an
one,
outlap,
on
that too.
on an outlap, so that's just crazy pace.
Yep.
And when he's at the end of sector one is when we'll actually see the time he has gained on Pradeep in that
Yep.
one lap.
And Vifix has gained 7 to 8 tenths on Vyom in another lap. So definitely he is blazing on all guns right now. And let's
Right.
see if he's able to overtake
So
Vyom there.
that's 2.5 seconds in one lap. That's Ethan's advantage over Pradeep. Now, this advantage won't last long, mind you.
Yep.
So he'll have to be very, very quick and efficient with his overtake. And it's also important to catch Pradeep at the right time, because if you get stuck behind him in, let's say, sector one, then you'll have to wait until what you're seeing right now, sector 3, to
I
actually
don't really
overtake
feel
him.
he should be able to overtake him easily under the DRS with the kind of pace he has. And yeah, and then he should be able to reach out to Jishnu. I mean,
Yeah, I
the
think he
gap is
has
10
caught him.
seconds.
I think he has caught him at the most perfect time of the lap where he can just launch his car and use DRS and slipstream to good effect. And there goes Ethan on Pradeep. Should be an easy
Yep.
move, and that is Ethan up into P6. What a drive! Probably his best drive I've seen Ethan in a while. I'm sure he has won a race or two this season. Let's have a look. URL Ethan is P6 in the championship, and he has one race. He has won one race. I keep forgetting which one it was. I did commentate on that, but either way, that's a brilliant, brilliant race so far from Ethan. And 5 laps to go. 8.9 seconds is a gap to Jishnu. Let's see if we can catch him.
Yep.
All right. Meanwhile, VFX has caught up. Well, not exactly, but he has made some real inroads on the gap Vyom had to him. 3.6 was the gap, so he has cut it down to 1.6, gained 2 seconds. But now, towards the end of the race, tires they're on exactly the same tire life as well, all the top four. So this will not be very very easy for VFX, but little by little he's making gains. And let's
Oh,
see.
what a lap there by Ethan. The fastest lap was
117.0.
quite fast.
If I can do that in time trial, I'll be happy. Well, 17.0 by Ethan. Wow, what a lap. And has casually taken out 2 seconds from the gap Jishnu has over him. So this could be a last lap overtake. You never know if those soft tires hold on.
Yeah, it's got to be a bit difficult. I would say it would be a miss from his end towards the end, because while I would say it's doable, or I would say probable, but is it possible? Like, I hope you get me.
Yeah, I do. I
So
do.
yeah,
Let's see as Vyom has just crept into the RS of Hushrav.
wait, Vifix
And
already in DRS of Vyom.
VFX is in DRS of Vyom as well, but Vyom will have DRS on Hushrav, and well, this could be Ferrari playing their own games, where
Yeah, this is Ferrari playing
Hushrav
their own
keeps,
games because Vifix doesn't really have DRS on
yeah,
Vyom now.
VFX doesn't on this lap, but now Hushrav trying to tow Vyom along, because if Vyom gets overtaken by VFX, and that's an if, but it is still a possibility, then VFX might have a chance to take P1 from Hushraf as well. But once again, I think that's what makes him the driver he is, Smith. VFX, you have seen him time and again being towards the back of the field, sometimes through fault of his own, sometimes because of incidents, but somehow he makes those right calls and he just pushes the car to its limit, but never too far, and gets up into these almost race winning positions. I mean, he's still in race winning position right now, you would say, just hardly a second behind the race leader.
Yeah. And Azun and all that on P4,
Yep.
having a lovely, lonely race at this point
Lonely
in
race,
time.
this is a
And
yellow flag. Is that easy level
is
bot?
that,
Oh, that might
I
be
think that
Ahif.
was, yeah, Gosalia. No, that is Gosalia.
Oh, okay, I thought it was one of the McLarens. But now Vyom is within
And
striking
Gosalia
distance.
spins.
Vyom is within striking distance. Is he going to pull an overtake
He's
on?
definitely not. He's definitely not. They are just playing a perfect team game at this point. Hushraf keeping him under DRS. Hushraf and Vyom, they both know that Hushraf is quicker than Vyom. And they are just keeping Vifix behind, because if Hushraf pulls away, it's gonna be easy for Vifix to overtake Vyom.
Yeah, meanwhile, Yash Gosalia has had an incident once again. Just not a happy hunting ground, it seems. Imola is for him in the Aston Martin, and well, this is all too exciting in the last 2 laps of the race after this one. And what was it? 9 seconds was the gap between Ethan and Jishnu? Well, it's 3 seconds now, Smith.
Yeah, it was 6.2. Now it's 2.9, 2.7, and
Yeah, we started with
dropping as we say.
8.9 and 9. Now it is just dropping corner after
Yeah.
corner. So really good that Ethan's tires are not dropping off, and Yash Gosalia has finally had enough, and he is retired in the pits. So that
Yep.
is his race over.
I guess
And
Easy Level is going for the fastest lap there because he did pit.
yes, it did. Now VFix must be conserving his battery. Is this the lap where he tries to go for it, or is he going to go wait until the last lap? Well, I say he's conserving his battery, but if you look at my screen right now, he's not
It is
conserving the
blinking.
battery at all. It is blinking that red light, and he doesn't have any battery left. Might have used. Ethan, are you on a? I need to.
What? When did this happen?
He's just overtaken just to.
Jishnu struggling
Oh
or
my
something?
god. This
I
guy.
believe Jishnu is struggling because I remember Azun and him at one point were fighting, and now he has a gap of more than 8-9 seconds on him.
Maybe it's just
So-
tires gave out. 19 laps on those mediums is asking a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just. I need to test him for doping or something at the end of this race, because Ethan has just been on
Cost
another
cap.
level tonight. Yeah, those cost caps, I don't think they apply to him. Vyom 3 times behind Nusrav, and a part of me really wants them to fight, but I don't think we are going to see that, as we are now entering the final lap of the race, Smith. The championship is not going to be decided tonight, but is the race win or the race victory going to be decided? Vyom seems to be going for it. He has his
Vyom's battery
full
blinking,
battery
light blinking,
and light blinking, but
Vifix's battery is done.
it's
I
just
mean,
not enough. It's just not enough. Hushrav has enough in his locker to keep both of them behind, and it's a perfectly executed strategy by Hushrav, where he did.
I mean,
Well, he chose
sometimes
not to
Ferrari
qualify
does good
up
with
top.
strat.
Yeah, sometimes it's. Remember this: it's only the Codemasters game. Would not happen in real life, where Ferrari finished 1-2 on merit. But that's what we are going to see in a few corners. Let's hope I haven't jinxed it for their sake, but it's so close yet so far for
Oh,
VFix.
look at how close is Vifix to.
Oh, here he
Vyom.
goes.
Would
Is he
he
going to go
dive
for
here?
it? I don't think he would. He has a championship to think of. You might want to take an alternative line into
My God, he's
the
really
chicane,
close.
and he's going to go for it. I'm very sure about this. Now Vyom has to pick his line to defend. He's going neither here nor there. VFX. That's just about fine. As thank you, Kabir, for those kind words. But we have to go with Hushrav, What a race win for him. He is going to win Imola, and that will be his third win of the season. Vyom and VFX rounding out the podium, and Azun is going to finish in P4. Even if he gets at 5 seconds removed, it won't be an issue because Ethan will finish more than 5 seconds behind him. What a drive from Ethan in P5. Just set the track on fire with those overtakes and those scorching lap times. Jishnu is going to finish in P6 in his Williams. Pradeep, well, he's a Division 2 driver, remember, but finishing ahead of the likes of Caesar and Ahif. Oh, Caesar and Ahif. What happened there? Caesar made a mistake maybe on the last lap and Ahif finishes P8. Caesar might just get it because Ahif had a time penalty. And then easy level bot bringing up the rear of the field in McLaren in P10. Smith. What a race. And Siddharth Venkatesh, I hope you are entertained.
Are you not entertained? Genuinely, what a race.
And there you see Hushrav climbing up to the top step of the podium, and that's the race results for you. Confirming Caesar did finish P8 because Ahif had a time penalty, and Easy Bot finishing a lap down, but he did finish in points. Ethan with the fastest lap of the race with a 17.0, and I think the next fastest lap I see is a 17.6, 17.4 rather from Easy
17.4
Bot,
from Easy
and
Level,
that
yep.
was just a lap or two before the end of the race, and Ethan had a good 7-8 lap stint on those softs. So that's the amount of pace he had. Clearly the fastest man on track towards the end of the race. But it's Hushrav who takes the checkered flag with Vyom and VFX on the podium. And Smith, if you can get these three to have a little chat with us before they retire for the night.
Yep, they're already here, I believe. I mean,
All right,
Hushrav is
Hushrav
here.
is here
So, yeah.
already. Fastest to take the checkered flag and first to join the party as well as Vyom has joined as well. So they're coming in the order of finishing on the podium, and that's really nice to see. And I'm sure VFX should be in as well pretty soon. All right, so while we wait for VFX, Vyom and Hushrav, please ensure that your audio sharing settings are in place so people can hear you on the chat. We have about 15 odd people, I think, who are watching. So,
Wow. Gosalia with 6 pit stops.
oh, because I left 6 pit stops. Wow.
I mean,
That's
5 sixth stints, so yeah.
right. Either ways, where is VFX?
I guess we can start off.
Yeah, let's start
With
with
Vyom. Yep.
Vyom then. Vyom, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, Vyom, what a race. Starting P5, and that was a very hectic turn one. I think there were a few drivers off the line and incidents happening, but I think you kept your nose clean. And just talk us through your race, and especially the last few laps. I'm not sure it was just race management from you and Hushrav because VFX was catching, or you were so close to Hushrav, maybe a lap or two, and you might have had a real chance. Just talk us through what happened.
So yeah, as you said, hectic race at the start. Got a really good launch, and but three wide in turn one. I held it around the outside, got pushed onto the curb, but then I think someone spun in front of me, so got up to P2 after that. And from there on, good pace. Ethan had really good pace. Hats off to him. I think if he was on our strategy, he was up there for the win today. And from there on, just good race management at the end. Wasn't really fighting Hushrav. We were just trying to keep VFX behind us. That was the end goal. Secure the 1-2 and bring it home.
Yep, absolutely. And that was a brilliant Ferrari 1-2 from the two of you. Smith, any questions for Vyom before we move on to VFX?
First of all, congrats, Vyom. Talking about the final laps, I mean, you've already taken through us that, but talk us through like the first initial laps where you guys and the Red Bull guys were like, trying to exchange positions, get away from them. What exactly was the strategy?
So with Ethan being on the hard, there was a tire offset between us. So for like the first 3 laps, I was hounding Ethan until I got past him. But then Ethan's pace was really good. Like I said, hats off to him for that on the hard tire as well. So at that point, I started backing up Ethan into our second car, Hushraf. So once Hushraf got past, it was just us two trying to keep Ethan behind us, and eventually with the SC, that worked out in our favor strategy as well. And from there on, it was just keeping our nose clean with Ahif and Ethan battling up through those two, and just easy strategy from there on, one stop.
Good strategy, I would say that. Congrats, Vyom.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
Vyom. And then let's move on to our championship leader who has taken a bit of a hit versus Husrav, but still gained points on his teammate Caesar, who almost did not race tonight. VFX, what happened? We are involved in a couple of
What
incidents. Just talk us through both of them and the final few laps where you're trying to catch both the
there were
Ferraris.
actually three, Malav. I think you missed the one where I got my wing broken versus Ahif at Variante Alta. So yeah, there were three incidents,
Yes,
not
I
two.
did catch that where you decided not to pit, and that was a great probably decision as well. But just talk us through these
Yeah.
incidents and your race overall.
Yeah, I mean the race start. It's Imola turn one. Very dicey. I had to take that extreme white line because there were cars all around, and when you're taking that, you have to ride the curb on the exit of the corner, and it's bad things can happen. And I think TBK it was just clipped me, but I don't think there's anything anyone can do about that. Then after that, I got the car round. Then Kavudi dive bombed me from I don't know, God knows where. I don't even think man was at Monza, I think, where he dived it from. So that was another spin. And then caught did all of that, caught back up again, and then Ahif and Caesar had a thing at Aqua Minerale, sorry, not Variante Alta, and that broke my wing. So after that, I think I was just trying to hope for a safety car first of all, and then just try and take hard tires through till the end, gain as many positions as I can. I was honestly targeting top seven at one point. Then it became top five. Then it came to my information that Ethan was did not pit at the safety car for whatever reasons. So that made the job of getting the podium a bit easier. And then from there, I was just having fun. The last few laps, just trying to push and catch up to these two, the Ferraris. Didn't happen in the end. Imola stuff tried to overtake. Uh, so didn't really try. Didn't get a chance to try much because my Yaris was gone from just overtaking everyone. So yeah, just had a bit of fun with it. But yeah, and anyway, I think we won constructors today. Alpha
Oh, you
Tauri.
did?
Even though my
Yeah,
teammate
that.
really did try at the end to not to not to not seal it tonight, but
Well,
anyway,
he does that.
that's
I have had my
that
share
thing.
of
But
experience. He tries very hard not to win the constructors, but we have to carry him through that. But yeah, what a race! It was very eventful from you, Vifex. Still one more race to go before probably you can seal it in the next race. But nevertheless, over to you, Smith.
Just take us through the last 4 5 corners, honestly, VFX. After that, or just before that chicane, you got really close after Aqua Minerale on Vyom. And what were your thoughts? Would you dive? Would you not dive?
uh, I mean, there's always a chance, but then because I was just trying to seal the title as early as possible, so just trying to finish the race more than anything, to be honest. I was pushing like my heart out, having bit more, taking bit more leeway with it than I would if I didn't have the massive lead. But just catching up to him was like I didn't expect that in the first place. So after that, I think everything I regarded as a bonus. So I just tried, but it didn't really come through because I was never like able to get alongside him enough, and he always had DRS down the street, so I can't do anything about, can't do much. So yeah, I just took P3 at that point. There's nothing more to say.
Good race, VFX. I mean, you did climb those positions back again, and congrats on that.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, then moving on to our race winner, Hushraf, his third race win of the season. Hushraf, first of all, apologies for trying to impose my theory on the spectators that you made a mess of that last run in Quali, but what a perfectly executed race strategy from you. Starting down in P12, I think you were P6 by the end of first lap because courtesy of what happened in turn one with a few drivers. But talk us through that battle with Ethan, and while Ethan is not here tonight, how surprised were you that he was able to keep up with you on those 22, 23 lap old
Not
hards?
at all, not at all. I was going very, very easy. I hadn't touched the game in about 3 weeks, over 3 weeks, in fact. So I had zero confidence in the car. I mean, I wasn't even surprised when VFix got up those 5 seconds towards the end because I was avoiding every curve. I was pressing half throttle until like fourth gear out of every corner. I was being as cautious as possible because I didn't want to spin. That's the last thing I want to do. So it was being as cautious as possible. Ethan, I know I didn't have to take a risk. I know I just had to wait until his tires dropped off. Then I had to pass him because I wanted to get ahead of him despite him having to make a pit stop because in case there was an SC, then I wanted to be the car ahead of him, not the car behind him. So I just patiently waited. I had no intention to push him at all. I was driving at my own pace, keeping the tires. And then towards the end as well, I saw the gap to VFix. If it was 3 weeks ago, I don't think that gap would have flinched at all. And I had those good laps here and there. I think my fastest lap was only a 10th off at the end. But it was just, it's that consistency which just doesn't come when you're off the controller for 3 weeks. I've had no game time at all. So, which is why I also didn't do quali. I was just doing race runs and spending my time with that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you
Pretty
learn from
happy
the
to have
best
a
when you
win in
do
the game.
race runs in calling. That's fine.
I didn't know Azun's
Jokes.
when he was learning. He was watching Azun's streams because he is the best driver
Azun
in
doesn't do
IMS,
race runs, let's be
as the
honest,
stream
in
would say.
quali. He just do race runs in races. But either way, Jad, that was a fantastic race from you, Hushrav, and welcome back to racing. I hope you're racing the next couple of races.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No, after it was just a one.
That's a shame. Smith, anything from you before we end? I think Smith is not around either way, so I think that's where we'll call it a day or night wherever you're watching from for the stream tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks Smith for joining me in the comms box, and congratulations to Hushrav, Vyom,
Am I
and
not audible? Boys.
yes, now you are.
Finally, I guess
Any
my.
questions for Hushrav before we end?
Well, more than question, I would suggest that might as well continue for the next few races because why not?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's as much a problem of me not wanting to continue. I think it's just more of a logistical issue, especially with daylight savings going back 1 hour and everything. So,
No, I understand. But good strategy by you, Ferrari boys. At least somewhere Ferrari is good with strategies, and congratulations once again.
cheers, thank you.
All right, that's it for the Division 1 coverage for Imola tonight. We'll see you next week with a different commentator for Brazil, where we have a sprint race as well, and then the finale in Abu Dhabi. We might have quota sometime, not entirely sure. But until then, take care, good night, and enjoy PK's farewell match.
See you guys.